Greetings, corn dogs, and welcome to the Corn Corner podcast. I'm Wren.
And I'm Cam. And instead of a fun fact today, I have more of like a philosophical question for everyone. Do you think that if you're into pup play, it makes you a furry? Yes or no?
Wow.
And why? You don't have to answer it right now, but just think about that.
This is what we're going to be discussing on today's episode. We're going to talk about some different questions that live deep within the hearts of many viewers out there. We're going to talk about kinky things. We're going to talk about some fetishy things, some things that are a little bit, I like to call them deep down dark desires.
Deep down dark desires. The quad D, as we call it in the industry, you know?
You love calling it the quad D.
Here on the kink corner, we like to get into the quad D.
Now, right off the bat, you're going to see that I have a coffee cup. And
that's the only thing weird about what's happening right now.
Yeah. But I am allowed to have this because I need it right now. And it's something that I don't usually allow in this podcast. I think it looks bad. I think it looks tacky. But right now it's something that I actually do need. So I'm going to actually allow it for today.
And we are leaning into a power imbalance on the pod today, as is also apparent, you know? And the way that we do this is two platonic life partners is these little things, you know? Like
little things.
I won't be allowed to drink water for a day, for instance.
That's
is something that she'll impose on me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did really good drinking water yesterday, didn't I?
Yeah.
I was gulping.
You
that
got
stuff
to pee
down.
so many times while we were watching that insane Twin Flame docuseries thing.
Gulp, gulp, gulp.
It was great.
You can bring out your cups if you want. Everybody. There it is. That's kind of funny. For the audio only listeners, you're going to want to take that Subaru and you're going to park it on the side of the road and tell those golden retrievers to hush on down and pull this up on youtube.com. Right now, Cam is in a pup hood.
Yeah. Turn to the back seat, say Bentley, Birkenstock, quiet down. Gotta watch the corn corner.
You know what? That trailhead's still going to be there after the corn corner.
We'll hit that out and back next time. Don't worry.
Exactly. That's right. Egg salad sandwich.
Yeah.
Would you have that on a hike?
Yeah. I don't see why not.
Okay.
I feel like that's a good distribution of macros for a hike snack.
Yeah.
Do you not?
Well, I just think it's a lot of mayo and egg for something that isn't refrigerated.
Yeah, I suppose that's a good point.
That's my main thing.
Yeah. But how long is it really going to be not refrigerated? How long is that hike?
That's something I actually learned recently is that it's fine. And it comes up to room temperature slowly, which is good.
Yeah, so that's fine. And also, so you got protein, you got fats, you got carbs. What could be better than an egg salad sandwich on a hike?
You don't eat eggs anymore?
I do randomly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you like egg salad sandwich?
I don't usually, but that one Japanese one we had was really good that one time.
In New York?
Yeah.
Holy shit, that was good.
I would do that. But I also used to love deviled eggs. And it's kind of a deconstructed or differently constructed egg salad.
That is a slightly funny food.
Deviled eggs? I like making them kitschy, like dyeing the egg outside red.
Oh, that's fun.
And then making little cornichon horns.
Oh, that's great.
It's a little real devil of a deviled egg.
Speaking of being a devil, right now you're in a little bit of a bad boy predicament, I would say, with that hood. You're really, a lot of people would say you're really cooking right now. Talk to us about that hood.
Audio only people. As you know, I'm wearing a pup hood. So this is one of my favorite hood. It is from Mr. S Leather, which is the shirt that I'm also wearing. Not a sponsor, but one of my most often purchased from places because it is geared towards mask people.
And good God, if they want to sponsor,
I would just love it. And I would say also carry some smaller sizes for trans mask people because the small at Mr. S Leather still quite too large for a guy like me.
Yeah.
Got to get a lot of custom things going on for the chest and such.
I will be clear though, if you don't change the small or make an extra small or maybe a trans small,
Yeah.
we'll still talk about the product.
It would be so fucking funny to go shopping somewhere and the sizes are like large, medium, small, trans dude small.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I would actually be like, oh my God, thank you.
Thank you so much.
That fucking rules.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but it is hard to find masculine-oriented kink gear sometimes that's not too goofy.
I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Actually.
A lot of it's very femme or, daintier. And then a lot of the masculine stuff is too far into the aggressive, bear, butch, daddy mask, huge things that would never fit on my arms or chest. So there's not a lot of middle ground for me to work with. So I get a fair amount of custom stuff from Mr. S, which is very easy to do, by the way. But yeah.
I never thought about the sizing from your perspective.
Yeah. The hood's not custom. This is just a small hood. So.
And it does fit your head great.
Quite well, yeah.
Yeah, you got a good head on you.
Thank you so much. And it is neoprene. So it's vegan and it's water safe, quote unquote.
Gotcha.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
I think we all do know what I mean. And I'm fighting the urge to make a really funny joke, but I like to keep it PG-13 on this podcast for I don't know why, but I don't want to get demonetized. We make about $40 per year on YouTube, and we need it.
We gotta hold on to that.
Yeah. But you mean PP?
Yeah. I don't think we get demonetized for saying that.
I don't know what we do.
I think it's fine. People say wild stuff on here. Also, we can dance around it.
I would just love to be monetized.
It would be so great.
Now, you wore this hood at Folsom.
Yes.
Do you clean it ever?
Yeah. I wash it with just soap and water, like Dr. Bronner's baby soap.
I'm just looking. I've never looked at it for this long.
Yeah. The outside may be smudgy right now, but I clean the inside after Folsom, which is the last time I wore it.
I like when gear gets a little patina on it.
Yeah.
I love that.
I don't mind it. Neoprene's hard with that. It doesn't really super. It gets less black. Like it gets a little more worn in kind of and stuff. But
were you afraid to go into Mr. S for a period?
I have not been into the physical store. I've been into other stores.
Yeah. Are those your friends?
Yeah. I don't know if we should stop when the dogs bark or not. So I've never actually been into the physical location because the only opportunities have been around Folsom. And there's no way in hell that I'm going to go there during Folsom. But I have been into, there's a shop in Seattle that was on a certain strip that was a super gay dude oriented sex shop. Doghouse Leathers, maybe. Something like that. And I went there a few times, but the first time I went alone and I was super intimidated and kind of had a bad time, but not because of anyone who worked there.
Just because.
Yeah, it was overwhelming. It was really hard to find stuff that was suited for me specifically. A lot of the gay dude kink clothing. It's buying clothing as a trans person is difficult no matter what. And as a trans masc person, my biggest struggle is hiding my curvy thighs and hips. Yes, which I think many would agree with. Not that it's hard for me personally to hide, but
I think everybody's
that thing, and put it away. But it's hard to find shorts that do that. Yeah. Shorts are my biggest struggle. Things are never baggy enough in the right way, and in those stores, a lot of the gay dude shorts are short shorts or super tight or things like that. Yeah, which works if you're a cis dude. Yeah, or a trans guy that's at a certain point or has a certain body type. But when you don't, it's and there's no way in hell I'm trying on clothes at a place alone, especially. Yeah. Because that's a recipe for disaster. Yeah. So I found going into physical stores very daunting.
Yeah, there's a lot of thongs too. Yeah. And it's yeah.
And things with bulges, like crotch bulges. Mm-hmm. And I'm not genital dysphoric in my daily life, but a thing I do not want is to have a bulge
Yeah.
when I have nothing in it.
Yeah.
And I'm not someone who packs like recreationally or uses a packer recreationally.
Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
It's not for you.
Yeah, it's just not for me.
And you did try it out.
I did. And for anyone listening who is not aware of what a packer is, it's, for lack of better terminology, a prosthetic, soft, like penis and balls, which I feel like I can say.
I think hey.
And not get demonetized. For you to wear like in underwear. So it creates like a bulge. It creates the visual, the feeling of having that there. And I mean, it can be sexual, but I think a majority of the time it is not.
Yeah.
It's just for your like existence. And I have dabbled before and it has been fun, but it's definitely not it makes me more dysphoric.
Yeah.
To engage with stuff that way, because it is like a reminder of like, well, you just have this fucking thing on you. But it's definitely the opposite for a lot of people. So pack away, I say. But I just don't like the empty bulge thing.
Yeah. Do you think a lot of it is that you are like a bottom in a lot of ways?
Mm-hmm. Like, in what do you mean?
Like sexually?
Yeah. Like why I don't want to pack is because I'm a bottom.
I'm not trying to say having a dick is about being a top or whatever, but like if you don't have a desire to use it in those ways, then it's not really a big deal and it would just add. Whereas you're okay with being a bottom.
Yeah. I'm okay with I'm okay with having a vagina.
Yeah.
It's great. Stoked on it.
Yeah.
I think that bottom growth, which is a result of testosterone use, is awesome. It's super cool to watch how your body changes develops along with testosterone use and stuff. And that's super affirming. And I like utilizing those things rather than adding an extra thing that makes me feel like I'm missing something. That's just me personally, like makes me feel like I'm missing something. And I'm not a big role play person in terms of like super fantasy.
Yeah.
Like I can't do. So when I do pup stuff, to be clear, I'm not being a dog. Like I'm not like I am a doggy now, and like we are navigating the world as if I'm a dog. I can't do anything myself. Shit like that. It's about dehumanization and just being like degradation also, but it's also dehumanization in a fun way where I just get to beep boop around and be faceless and not be myself and kind of be a character.
Yeah.
But in terms of role play stuff, I'm not role playing as a literal pet.
Yeah.
In the same way that like if someone wanted to do like what's a classic role play? Teacher student.
Yeah. Like
a teacher student role play. If one of my partners sat down and said they wanted to do that, my ass would be like,
yeah.
Okay, like, oh no, I didn't do the assignment. Like it's not gonna work for me. Yeah. I'm not good at doing that because I'm like, this is a real world.
Yeah.
The same way with pain stuff. I'm not doing pain stuff to get punished.
Now,
whatever.
You're telling me if Kiss Me Deadly Doll decided to do a teacher-student thing and she was going to be the teacher, I feel like it would work.
So the thing is, I have done scenes that are like role play like that.
Yeah.
And the first scene that me and Kiss Me Deadly Doll ever did was like a really intense role play scene that led into my gender shit hardcore. And it was really fun.
Yeah.
But it took a lot for me to be like goofy and stuff. And I think I like doing those in recorded scenes because I feel like it's okay to act.
Yeah.
And I don't want to act in
Real
personal life.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like I'm not good at that and not making it a joke and stuff.
Yeah.
So going back to the Packer thing, if it's a recorded scene and stuff, or I'm playing a role, then totally. But in my personal life, I'm not going to wear a Packer because then I'm just role playing having something that I don't. And that doesn't do anything for me.
The camera does add a lot of cool things in that way.
Yeah.
Like that observer of the camera does allow, I feel like, as a performer to do different things.
Yeah, it definitely takes away like a lot of walls you put up in real life because you're like, well, fuck it. Doing the thing.
Yeah. How often do you wear pup gear?
I used to a lot more often, like just alone though. Because, so for me, usually, if I'm like approaching it from a play or like personal way, pup gear stuff, or my hood especially, is about sensory control.
Mm-hmm.
So like, if I'm engaging with pup stuff with other people in more of a play setting, I will not talk. Like I will be nonverbal unless I need to be, because I want to be nonverbal. It also makes it harder to hear, so it like makes things quieter, which is really great for sensory overload stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it just like hones in the way you navigate everything.
Yeah.
So I like that about it. But I would like, up until recently, I would just put my puppet on like once a week and just like lay around my room just because I wanted to. Like,
Yeah.
I wasn't doing kinky shit or anything. I would just do it and like listen to music.
Yeah.
Or like journal or whatever, because it's just like nice.
Yeah, it's just like a cool thing to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not about like, oh, I look cool. It's just I was literally alone in my room.
Yeah.
Like, and until recently, I didn't do it in public, like really, or in front of people.
Yeah, the first time was Folsom in public?
I had worn it for play parties at like Fire or things like that. A few, like very few, maybe 2 or 3. But Folsom was the first time like walking around in a street, like with it on, and then tying with Kiss Me Deadly Doll. Captains.
About her.
After that was like the first time I wore it for rope, I think.
Yeah.
Which was really fun.
I can't stand having anything on my fucking face when I'm doing rope.
Really? You don't even like a mouth?
I don't mind it if it goes in. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
But I wore a mask a couple times. Hated it.
Huh.
But I don't mind if it's like put on me.
Yeah.
But if it's something I'm wearing a part of like a costume or something for a performance, hate.
It's like, I like not having to think about my face.
Yeah.
Because so much of my like life and work is constantly worrying about how I'm being perceived. And putting a hood on completely takes that away.
I get afraid that I'm gonna overheat or something. I don't know why. That's always a weird small fear I have in rope, that I'm gonna overheat.
I mean, that's real though.
I don't know.
The amount of times I've been like in an upright and gotten that hot face, sweaty, it's an immediate brain, I'm gonna pass out.
I'm always afraid I'm gonna throw up too. It's always in the back of my mind. Those are the two. I'm afraid I'm overheating. I'm afraid I'm gonna throw up.
Every time you do rope?
Yeah, kind of.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, it's hard. So it's kind of hard to get over sometimes.
Yeah.
But I get afraid of those two things.
Have you ever thrown up fully in rope?
I haven't, but there have been 2 times where I've come really close.
I was there for one.
Yeah. And I was actually at that point, I succumbed to my fate, and I said, I'm going to throw up. And
the one time I was there.
Yeah. And I was even trying, because I realized, I don't know if any of this is rational, but I thought I was either going to choke on, stuff, or I was going to have to throw up. So I decided I'm just going to throw up. But that was the time where I was like, I was even thinking to myself, I'm going to have to buy a new rug. I'm going to have to clean this up. I'm going to be embarrassed. This is going to suck. But it was a call I had to make. But I couldn't, luckily.
What's so funny is that
I don't know why.
During that situation, you did not communicate that you were that because I would have went and got a bucket or something. Like I would have done something. But you were like, I feel really close to it, and then you managed things until you got down.
Yeah, I think in the get a bucket phase, I think it was too late. I don't think it wouldn't have.
Too late for the bucket.
Yeah, because I think when I decided that. It was like you would have ran halfway through getting it. I would have been throwing up.
That would have been so funny.
Yeah,
Not really, but
also I just didn't care. I was like, I'll get a new rug and I'll go fuck.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. But and then another time it was really hot.
Yeah.
In the apartment, and I was like, this is it.
It's doing rope hot is
the worst thing
thing
in the world.
Yeah,
I know.
You don't want to do that.
But those are my 2 that I hate. But I also don't feel like I'm good being upside down. That's always been something hard for me. Yeah, I know. I don't have if I know I'm gonna be upside down, I have to really be big on my diet that day. I have to eat. Like I can't eat anything really fatty, oily, acidic. I have to watch coffee. That's acidic. That'll fuck me up. I've got to eat like oatmeal or something.
Yeah. Good thing at Chez Doll, oatmeal is always on the menu.
It's shade doll. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And
Casa Doll.
or greens. Those are always on the menu.
Yeah.
Do you remember that salad that we got with the
Yeah.
doll? That thing was so
I
fucking
love a
good.
little Brooklyn prepackaged salad.
I still think about that thing. That thing is so good. Anyway, back to the important stuff. Not salads.
Yeah.
We're talking about fetishes and pup items.
Yeah. We have done, this is the second, and we're doing multiple fetish episodes because last one we did, we realized there was like so much we didn't talk about and so much more to talk about, and it's fun to talk about.
It is fun.
Yeah, so we're leading in with the pup stuff, but who knows where it'll go.
Tell me about the tens machine.
The tens machine. I love Electroplay.
Do you? What
We can talk all about Electroplay.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Do you ever do it alone?
I've done tens unit stuff alone.
That's fun.
I don't do the like shocky or cattle prod stuff alone because there's no fucking point. Like, you know when it's gonna happen if you're doing it to yourself. And part of why that stuff is fun is because you're like,
Yeah.
you don't know when it's coming, you know?
Yeah, that would be kind of a funny thing to be doing alone.
I'm sure people do, but it's just not. It's
Yeah.
not gonna do anything for me. It's like hitting yourself like with a paddle.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I've never done a cattle prod.
Yeah.
I've done the tens. And
Yeah.
It's not really my thing.
The cattle prod feels totally different, or the littler zapper thing. Obviously it feels different. The tens is like a weird current thing, and the cattle prod looks and sounds scarier than it feels.
Yeah.
Like, that's the fun thing about electricity is the anticipation, the noise, the like and then like whatever, and then you feel it usually, and you're like,
Yeah.
I mean, we just filmed, well, months ago now, and it'll be coming out soon, or maybe already came out by the time this episode is out. A bunch of asylum-themed things with Kiss Me Deadly Doll, in which I was a patient, and you two were the nurses. And the first scene we shot involved me getting cattle prodded, and my dumbass cracks up. Like, I like laugh after I do pain stuff most of the time. Like, I'll be like, ow, that sucked, and growl and whatever, but then I'll be like, hee hee, and like smile. And I had to be super strategic in editing it to show me not like grinning like an idiot at Doll, who was like cattle prodding me.
She was also saying some of the funniest shit.
That whole thing was insane.
It was
the things
funny.
y'all were saying. I am so glad that I was wearing a hood for the majority of the scenes.
Yeah.
For basically mostly all of them after that, because I was just like grinning and laughing in that hood.
I laugh because of the absurdity of the thing happening. I just think it's really funny.
I agree. But the cattle prod thing, it wasn't funny in the moment, but it was after. There's a video of me trying it for the first time with I think probably 10 did it, or maybe it was JP. But like, I'm all scared. I'm tied up and like super scared and being like, oh, okay, just do one. Like, let's just see whatever. And then they do it, and I do like pain sound, and then I go, oh, that sucked. That's not that bad.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's okay.
yeah. And then I'm like, all right, you can do more. Like,
I just say think everything's a 10 and then it goes back to what it needs to be. Should we tell them the story that the mishearing of the what?
yeah, sure.
There is this. So we're shooting and we're in between
Setups. Yeah.
And you're in a situation where you're like chained to a bed.
Yeah.
You can't move.
With a hood on and like shit over my head. So like you couldn't hear me well.
Yeah.
And I couldn't hear y'all well or something too. Yeah.
So like Doll and I are moving stuff, we're moving cameras, we're just setting up for the next shot. And you're talking to us, but it's all muffled and we can't really understand what you're saying. There's nothing important being said either. We're just like bullshitting.
Yeah. I literally had something in my mouth.
Oh, okay.
Because I had like the thing attached to my face.
Oh, yeah.
That part of it was in my mouth.
Yeah.
Because I had to like hold the thing for the video to be used.
So you said something and it was like,
yeah.
And then Doll was like, yeah, you're really owning it.
And there was like a beat of silence where I couldn't see also, but it was a clear beat of silence where us two, me and Ren, were thinking about what Doll just said, because we both knew that wasn't what I said, even though you didn't know what I said, probably.
I had no idea.
But then I went like, no.
Because the thought of Doll thinking that you were being like, damn, I'm really owning this scene.
Which I would never.
Yeah. And then Doll being like, you know what? You are really owning it. You're really doing it, man. You're getting it.
I think I like moved something really aggressively so my mouth was free, so I could be like, that is not what I said. I would never say I'm owning this about anything.
What happened was I said, that's not what you said, because I knew there's no way you would fucking say that.
God, that
it was so funny. So that became, I don't know what you actually said, but then that became like the running joke. It's still a running joke of the thing where you would do something and be like, you're really owning this.
Yeah. You know what? If you look at our Instagram comments on each other's posts, like us and Doll and probably Bethany now.
Bethany too.
There's just going to be like, you owned it. Like,
you really owned it.
And it's so stupid.
And it's just so funny because then you're like, chained to a bed, completely like immobilized,
with TENS units on me,
with
like other stuff, like a lot of electro things.
And then we're just like, you're really owning it.
I was like, no.
Hey, you're really living in the space.
Yeah.
You know? You're really making this space yours.
The funny thing about that is like y'all would keep saying that, like keep being like, you know, you're doing so good about me bottoming for those shoots and stuff. But to me, I'm like, I don't need to do anything. Like, if I'm bottoming for a shoot or a scene, and I know it's not like this, but this is like my perspective, is I'm like, I don't need to think about anything. I don't need to plan this scene. I don't need to say what's coming next. I'm literally just being here and like accepting what's happening, speaking up for myself if I need to, but just like accepting what's happening and rolling with the literal punches. Like,
I think that, okay, I totally see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
You did two things that I think, you did one thing specifically that I was like, I never would do.
Say it.
Can we say it?
We can absolutely talk about all of these things. Just make it cutesy language. The one thing that the spit up, crack up one, I don't know which thing you're referring to here. You can talk about anything we did.
No. I'm just trying to think of the spit up one. What are you talking about?
When I had a catheter in.
No, I remember that.
And I peed so much. Yeah, a lot of it. Yeah. All right, now we're just telling stories from the scene.
But wait.
I want to get to that. You say what you're saying.
Yeah. But I think that I totally know what you mean. Like all the impact stuff, the different things like that. Yes, your fate is set and you just got to go with it. And there is a degree of whatever's going to happen to me is going to happen to me. And that's a great place. Obviously within consent.
Yeah.
Duh. But that does help. But there were a couple things that you did that I was like, holy fuck, that was really impressive. And I think Doll felt the same way. You really were not afraid of doing a lot of things.
I'm like, what? Say.
Well, the fucking catheter's number one. Also, what happened before the catheter? Also,
I'm trying to think of the other, besides, I can say fisting.
Okay, then say it.
I mean,
if you can say it, then say it.
Fisting in the back end. That's the thing that happened.
You did that. And I think we were both like...
You and Doll.
Our faces during that part were like... we were blown away.
Humans, am I right?
We were shocked.
Yeah. I think the catheter one is great.
Is that your buddy?
Oh, it's just that one.
So we decided we're actually not going to tell the catheter story, and we're going to wait till the next episode in which we're going to do crazy kink stories.
Yeah.
So wait till next week.
Yeah.
Sorry about you.
Just a little tease for you.
That's what we do.
It's fucking funny. That was just like, that's one of my favorite shoots ever. Anyway, though, back to pup stuff.
Pup stuff, what do you look for in pup play, a pup scene, a pup sesh?
Pup sesh.
What do you...
Little pup sesh.
What do you, like, how do you, like, when you're gonna either play in pup space and not film it or film it and do pup stuff, how do those... What's the flow chart?
If the filming it versus not will discern me acting more dog-like, and that's if I'm filming it. So like if things are being recorded, generally then I'll be on all fours. I'm not being bipedal. I like have a tail in always, like as part of the gear, which I don't do in personal life very often. Like all the gay boys at Folsom being pups with their tails in. God bless you. Couldn't be me.
It's wild to me.
Yeah.
More wild than the latex at Folsom.
Yeah. But then in personal life, it could be any range of stuff like watching TV with a partner, and I put my pup hood on, so I'm like curled up on the floor at their feet, and we're watching something together. And maybe I do talk a little, but like probably not really. In terms of scene stuff, I like doing pain stuff while wearing pup hood because I'm not the most like verbal person when I do scenes in general, beyond saying like this is good or this is like, or other like negotiation things. So it like further takes away the ability to be verbal in my head. And it takes away the like inherent worrying about looking stupid during a scene. Yeah. Which is something that I have a hard time getting over. Yeah. But I'm doing better at it. But like, that's why I like being blindfolded or wearing masks. Because if I'm not worried about my face is like, I can be more immersed in the scene and just like be there. But it's rare that I'm not big on the like personal pup scene of like training or like let's play fetch, let's da 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 da. That's not what it's about for me. Yeah, it's really more about the being a creature, dehumanization, degradation. And that's also why I say that I'm like a pup in life. Yeah. Like just hood or not. Like I just always am like in terms of playing, I don't need to have a hood on to be in pup space. Quote unquote. Just because it's like, you know, if you've watched any of my stuff or you've played with me or whatever, I do this thing a lot of the time where I'm like enjoying something where I stick my tongue out and kind of like do a brief pant. That's just normal for me. Like I'll just be like, and make that sound specifically with my tongue out. And that's not just during kink stuff. It's during any like whatever intimate activity. Yeah. It's funny. I'm realizing now you're thinking about it, being like, you do that. You do. Yeah. So it's just little mannerisms like that mean that my brain is like allowing me to let go and be in that kind of like space where I'm not worried about the human world, quote unquote. I'm just able to be in that like other thing. Yeah. I feel like I like when you did pup photo shoots. Yeah. Those are always really cool to me. Yeah. I love doing pup photo shoots because that is one. Like I like at Folsom, you took pictures of me where I like kneeled on the ground. Those are so fun. Yeah, that's super fun. But I wasn't crawling around Folsom. Yeah. I was walking around because I didn't want to be in that place there. Yeah. Like, so like whatever under that place. But like the photos are fun because you get to play it up. It's like a chance to be like, yeah. Something I learned from that was that I, as someone who wants to take photos and has ideas and things, needs to be more aggressive about being like, hey, let's go do it. Yeah. Because I realized that we waited till like the end. Yeah. And it was like, you were like, oh, hey, will you come do this? And I was like, oh yeah, duh. Like I want to do this thing. But I didn't want to take over the event by always being like, oh, I want to take photos of stuff or whatever. And now I realize like, I'm like, next year I'm going to just do that. I'm going to have my nice camera and walk around and be like, oh, let's go do this. And if someone doesn't do it, say no. But I also think Folsom is a place where people want to be seen. Yeah. And no one, like if someone asked me to take a photo, I probably wouldn't, like someone as in our group asked, if Chelsea was like, oh, I want to take a photo of you, I'm not going to be like, no. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, sure. Unless you didn't feel like it. But most of the time. Yeah, but I can imagine not. Yeah. Also, with me, if like you were ever like, hey, do you want to go take pup photos doing this thing? I have an idea. I'm almost always going to be like, fuck yeah. Because it requires no preparation on my part. I get to just put the hood on and like do something I love doing. Yeah, I got my water hose idea I want to do. Oh, yeah, I definitely want to do that. It's funny. I'm like. But I got an idea. You got what? I was just going to say, you got a few days left with a hose in the backyard here, so I don't know. Anyway, think about that after this.
I'll think about that after this. Anyway, but there'll be hoses. Are there hoses?
On the East Coast?
Yeah.
I think they do have them.
Okay.
They may look a little different. The water actually goes in the opposite way, which makes it really complicated for some people.
It's a very dirty process.
Yeah, you got to figure that out a little bit.
So, one of the things that you're talking about that I relate to is that I don't do a lot of stuff outside of rope because the way I view my body is so hard to do things. Like, it's always things that, like, you're bent over a thing being hit, and, like, that's never going to be flattering for me. I'm like, I can't, like, my dysphoria, it gets in the way of doing a lot of things like electro or this or that or whatever. Things that aren't rope. I like that rope is
Generally,
shapes
yeah
that are going to be flattering.
Do you feel like if you're doing a thing like that wasn't documented, you would feel the same?
No, not at all. I feel worse. I want it absolutely because at least with the camera, there's a component of like work to it that I would enjoy, and there's also a component of this is the angle.
Yeah.
Versus if there's no camera, that's terrifying to me because any angle is the angle.
So it's just you and one person playing with no camera is bad for you.
Yeah, I don't think I could do it.
Yeah.
And that's why I do like rope, is because I know that if I'm in a TK, that's going to be fine. Yeah. And then any other version of that is going to be pretty okay. And I like my body in 95% of things in rope.
Yeah.
But yeah, other places I don't.
See, I'm super opposite. Like if there's a camera present, then I can't. I mean, if there's a camera present, it's already not. It's some form of acting. It's performing because we're clearly recording for a scene or whatever the hell. Well, that's not necessarily true all the time. I'll get into that in a sec. But I will then always have some part of my brain thinking, arch your back, stick your ass up, like whatever, be modeling in some fucking way, and not just being in whatever natural pose I would be in where they're not cameras present.
See, I have that in my head all the time anyway.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
I guess I've been letting go of that more, but a big part of letting go of that is that in my personal life, I'm so much more precious with who I play with, which we've talked about in like the previous kink episode thing. And I trust the one or two people I engage with kink stuff in, and I don't think that they're thinking about like my body looks weird.
Yeah.
So why would I think about it? But also, like I said, the being blindfolded, like the one partner we had only engaged with play with me wearing blind contact lenses in.
Yeah.
And there's like a picture on my Instagram where I made a meme that I still had blonde hair, but you can see my eye is white because I had like blind contacts in or whatever. And I noticed after like one or two times doing that I wasn't ever posing because I couldn't literally see.
Yeah.
So I wasn't looking down at myself.
It's cool.
Or looking at how I was oriented. I was just being there and whatever, and wasn't worrying about what I looked like because it like was irrelevant.
Yeah.
So that was a big takeaway for me, and trying to let go of like, why does it matter what I look like if we're both having a good time is a big one.
Yeah.
And that if it's not being like documented, it really doesn't matter because I don't need to be modeling.
Yeah.
But that same partner started like recording random snippets of scenes on a camcorder and stuff like that. But because I had blind contacts in, I didn't know where the camera was or like where he was. So I couldn't pose.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't think enough too because I didn't know who I was playing to.
Yeah.
Which was like sick.
Yeah.
So I super value those scenes because I don't have to be on and care about what I look like. And also part of degradation and dehumanization and stuff is looking ugly, like quote unquote ugly, and like looking stupid, looking gross, whatever the hell that means in your own heads, and just accepting that like you're not gonna look hot all the time when you're bent over a piece of wood furniture getting your ass beat. And like I'm not doing it to look good. So like
yeah,
I
I feel you.
I'm not saying you're wrong. Neither of us is right or wrong here.
No, I know.
To be clear, listeners, like, however you engage with it is how is correct to engage with it. These are just two opposing perspectives.
No, I agree fully. I see what you're saying. Just trying to think of how I know how this plays into my own psyche.
Yeah.
And how my own experience. It's
also such a gendered thing.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
It's like, the idea of having blind contacts and not knowing where, and it just feels like my version of feeling unattractive is just so different than I think other people's, So it's hard. It's one of the reasons why I like when we shoot with reflective is because I'm doing something I really like to do. Like, loved like impact bottoming, but I don't like doing it like most of the time.
Yeah.
But I love that it's in a place where I can still make sure I look good and I'm getting impact. It's weird. I mean, also I like that all the apparatus forces you in like a shape. I think that's really cool and hot in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the gender of it all is very like like before transitioning, I was on your page. Like I was absolutely like, I can't look weird and I can't look ugly on camera or off. I don't want my partner to see me that way. I can't think about myself that way, whatever. But a big thing for me in engaging with like mask kink stuff and watching it is like guys aren't sticking their asses up in the air.
Yeah.
They're like all hunched over and stuff a lot of the time. And that's like normal. And they like look different.
Yeah. I think that it's also unique in that, like right now, what are those like work suits? Like Wild Fang makes them. Those like kind of work suits.
Like the coveralls?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like those are really popular right now.
Yeah.
A lot of women are wearing those.
Not for either of us, frankly.
Nope.
Yeah.
It's not many trans women are wearing them.
Yeah.
Right? It's a thing that right, like a trans woman can't wear them. I'm not saying you can't.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that's different when a cis woman's like, oh, I'm gonna play with gender a little bit.
Yeah.
The flexibility is just a little bit different when on the spectrum.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of goes into it a lot where I'm like, I don't want to play with these
I'm not there yet.
ideas of looking bad.
Yeah.
Because
it's
looking
too much, it's
bad
sacrificing
is
too much.
Yeah. Looking bad goes in a different direction.
That's literally packing up stuff and going through dresses. I kept one like for myself for future just to be like, who knows? But like the thought of like Kid Cudi wearing, I think it was Kid Cudi wearing a dress on SNL, being like, whoa. But it's like, yeah, that's a man in a dress. We can tell. Like that's cool. He looked cool. That's neat. I like that. But like me putting one on, if I went outside, people would be like, the fuck's going on here? Like it would like, and that feels bad.
Yeah. Which dress did you keep?
It's like this plaid one that actually Brad used to wear hilariously. That it's like very 90s. It kind of baby dollish. Like it has like a not super triangle top, but like whatever, and then it has the waist here, and it's not like super long.
Got it.
Yeah.
Cute.
It's like a you'd wear it with like combat boots and a little jacket or something. You know?
I get it. Oh, remember that vest?
The vest.
Your vest?
Yeah.
After Folsom, it reeked of sunblock.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
That thing will hold on to smell.
It does.
I wore it during an entire trip around Spain, and the BO on that thing.
Look, I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I took some cold water.
You put it in the freezer. No, I'm telling you, put it in the freezer.
Okay.
If you want to get jean material to not stink,
okay,
put it in the freezer, like in a bag.
I'll pop it in the freezer.
Yeah.
But I put it on the armpits, and I went.
Yeah. Because of my armpit smell?
No.
Oh, I was like, yeah, it's probably terrible.
My armpit smell.
Oh, okay.
And also, the sunblock smell was so intense.
Yeah.
Because I went and it got here.
Yeah.
That I had to go.
Get in there.
And I got in there, and now it's better.
I'm sure it stood up to the test.
Yeah,
It's fine denim.
it's fine denim. It does say for adventurous.
It does? The tag
Gals
says for
too.
adventurous girls?
It does.
That's awesome. Well, that's why it's yours now.
That's why it's mine. It's not mine. I'm just holding on to it for you. Well, listen, we're going to do part 2 of this.
Yeah.
It's going to be a real raunch fest.
Yeah. I have 3 I have the one we've referred to here, but I have 2 other ones at least to talk about. One of them, I mean, you know both of them, but one of them
Can't wait.
is going to blow people's socks off, I feel.
I can't wait. Well, people, make sure you wear a couple pairs of socks for next episode because they're going to be blown off.
Yeah.
And also make sure you subscribe to the Patreon.
Patreon.com/thecorncorner.
You're going to like it.
Yeah. We do. You get to see ad-free episodes. You get to see photography stuff that's not posted online anywhere. I think I'm going to start sharing writing there. Maybe we're going to record little audio stories of us reading said writing. We've got a lot of ideas. We're going to start throwing it up there. I just need to make it through the next move.
I
literally.
swear. Please, everyone.
Just hold on.
Get us through this next period.
And as always, stay fresh.
Stay fresh.